Introduction. Does anyone on the committee have a bill introduction? Anybody in the audience? That was easy. Seeing that, we'll start off with our presentation on the KTA. For those people that are online, the presentation is under documents instead of testimony. We had a link issue, so you go to ks.gov, committees, standing, transportation, and then committee documents. With that, we'll welcome Steve Hewitt for a presentation on KTA.
Morning, Chairman, committee members. Appreciate the opportunity to see you again and some new faces, some faces I recognize. Decided to give you a little update of kind of how things are rolling at the Kansas Turnpike these days. A little bit about me. Again, Steve Hewitt, CEO of Kansas Turnpike. I've just wrapped up 10 years with the Kansas Turnpike CEO. We've done a lot of major projects the past 10 years. Excited about kind of where we're going and what we've done. We'll touch on one of our biggest projects, which really has changed how we do everything at KTA, and that's our cashless tolling project. We'll talk about a few other things we've been working on because we've been touching on infrastructure for a number of years and trying to make improvements. You know, we love to tell our story. Our mission is very clear, to provide a safe, reliable, customer-based system, fiscally responsible, making sure that we do things right and fiscally and prudent. It's fun to kind of look at the history a little bit. Opened in 1956, Kansas Chamber initiative to connect our cities, Wichita, Topeka, Kansas City, Lawrence. Didn't want to put burden on the taxpayers, and so created the toll system. And still to this day, we do not take tax dollars. We don't take federal dollars. We don't take state dollars. I'm not going to ask for anything from you today. I'm just here to give you an update. We take that as a pride thing from a standpoint to operate this thing in a prudent way. And we still have some of the lowest tolls in the country. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. 50% of our traffic comes from out of state. So that's nice to know that 50% is paying for that turnpike. It's not all put on Kansans that want to use the turnpike. We understand it's a choice, and so we want to offer it a low price but a good product, and we will operate like a business. Just a few fun facts as well, kind of about us. 236 miles from Oklahoma all the way to Kansas City. That's about 1,000 lane miles. We've got 9 maintenance facilities along the turnpike. Our staff can be close to their location to make sure they manage any road projects or snow and ice and those kind of things. Over 300 employees. We have 47 dedicated highway patrol troopers for the Kansas Turnpike, to Troop G. We pay 100% of those. I pay their salaries, I pay their cars, their uniforms, everything, their benefits. We cover all that. Again, that's not covered by the Kansas Highway Patrol or the state. We pay for all that ourselves. You know, this last year we had over 40 million travelers on the Kansas Turnpike. So clearly, it's important to the state. We understand it's a big freight corridor. So to keep the system up and quality of the system needs to be at a high level, and we want to make sure we're doing that. And we have some of the highest ratings that you can get on pavement and in concrete and things in our bridges, and we really focus on that, and we appreciate the opportunity to make sure we're helping Kansas in all ways. Did about $150 million in revenue last year. We have the highest bond rating you can receive for a toll public facility. We're in good financial condition. We've done some economic studies in the past, and it said that 12% of the Kansas economy uses the Kansas Turnpike. So just at 236 miles, 12% of the Kansas economy is needing a really good system. So we understand that. We take that as a point of emphasis, and we're making sure that we keep a good quality system. You know, 10 years ago, we really focused in on customer service, began giving surveys to our customers, making sure that our customers, we got their feedback. We want to know what they're thinking, what they need, really focused on the customer needs. We just wrapped up our 2024 survey. 90% of those folks that took that survey said they liked the cashless tolling system that we've recently put in, and 94% said that they understand and they believe that the Kansas Turnpike is important to Kansas transportation. And when I say surveys, we had 35,000 turn-in surveys this last year. We had 38,000 turn-in surveys in 2023 that showed very high satisfaction. We're trying to listen to our customers and try to make sure that we're meeting all their needs. I think it's important. That's why cashless tolling became such a big focus for us. Well, let's talk about that. Obviously, that's the biggest thing that we've been doing lately. It's really changed how we toll. We invested $100 million in a new system, cashless tolling. We listened to our customers, as I said. It was the right thing for a number of reasons. Number one, this is a safety element. When you pull the blocks away from travelers, have to slow down and stop, that's a safer way of traveling. We keep the traffic moving is safer. Customer convenience and service, we just talked about that, making sure we meet the needs of customers. Operational timing was perfect for us. We had aging, older equipment that was becoming obsolete in the towing industry. We needed to upgrade anyway. We had an aging workforce. We knew 75% of our collectors were going to retire by 2024. So that was a good time for this as well, and we could move those other 25% into other positions for cashless tolling. And the efficiency effort, long-term efficiency, the cost of human capital, the cost of keeping up the plazas at the location. We wanted to keep low tolls. We wanted to make sure the tolls are at a good level. And I'm actually really excited to say that our K-tag toll rate is the lowest toll rate in the country. And we still have an excellent system, graded very high in infrastructure. So if you have, that's the key for it. We want to maintain those low tolls, and this is why this system helps us so much. With any big rollout, you're going to run into some challenges, and we've done that. Obviously, this is a big, huge project. So these 6 months has been an adjusting period for us to listen to customers. We've had to fine-tune a few things here and there, and from adding more customer service and improving some of the self-service channels for our customers, working with our staff to improve and fine-tuning the equipment in the lanes. We're going to add more tools for customers. And again, this 6 months has been a learning curve for us, but we're very pleased with what the system's doing, how it's keeping things moving, and we're really excited about where this is going in the future, which allows us to do, I think, more for our customers moving forward. I think one of the biggest things we rolled out was a new platform, new app and website, ks.gov. This is your online portal payment option. You go there, your one-stop shop. You can manage all your tolls. If you're a K-tag customer or not a K-tag customer, you go sign in, and you can go there and manage everything you need when it comes to your tolling. Even like a rental car. You want to get a rental car? I plug in the license plate, and that will get me the rates I need and to work through that, save me the effort of waiting for a bill to come in the mail. And it's real simple. If you're a K-tag customer, your life really didn't change. Your K-tag still works, and things are moving fine. But if you're not a K-tag customer, we're going to take a picture of your license plate. We're going to look you up. We're going to send you a bill in the mail. We're going to wait for you to pay. So the K-tag is obviously the best way to go. It gives you the lowest rates possible. But again, K-tag is still in place. Yes, we have Drive KS is where you go if you want to go to the portal and you want to go to, to our website or to the app. But otherwise, and we all listen. What we've learned here, we've learned that people in Kansas like to talk face to face or on the phone. Don't always want to go to the website. Listen, you can go and get all your answers, all your questions answered by us. But we've got retail and call center locations in Wichita, Topeka, and Lawrence. You can go face-to-face. You can always call us. You can still go to ks.turnpike.com. That website still works. That's the basic information about the Kansas Turnpike, which will also lead you to Drive KS if you want to work on your tolling piece to pay. And so we've got that still in place. And again, K-tag is the best rate. You get the lowest tolls in the country, and we're really excited to say that's not changing. As a customer, your life didn't change at all. I did want to touch on this. We're compatible with Oklahoma, Texas, now Florida and Colorado. We're going to continue to work state to state to try to add more states. It's technology. The good thing is our technology has been upgraded. So now we'll wait for other states to come on board, and hopefully we'll be able to do that in the future. We also have national partners, Pre-Pass, Best Pass, National Pass, Bank Pass. Bank Pass is really important because we run into a lot of customers who say, I don't want to give you a payment. I don't want to give you a payment option like a credit card or a bank account. I'm a cash person. Not a problem. We've partnered with Bank Pass. Bank Pass is partnered with Kroger, Dillon's. You can go to Dillon's. You can front load, cash load a Bank Pass. Bank Pass then gets you the lowest rates. So we have that option for folks. So if you don't want to give us your payment information, not a problem. There's the Bank Pass option, which I think is a really good option for the future. And I think more people are learning about that, and we'll continue to push that effort with Bank Pass to get that information out to customers. Well, I just talked a little bit about, the fine tuning and some of the challenges. One key thing, what I learned, and I just mentioned it, Kansans, sometimes Midwesterners want to talk to a live person. Sometimes they have a question. Even if they had a K-tag and their life didn't change much, they saw a new statement in the mail, and it really slammed our call center. We didn't anticipate as many calls as we received. It made long hold times, longer call folks on the line, and it really forced us immediately to increase our call center staff, bring in a third party to help us with overflow calls in the short term, really enhance some of our mobile app stuff and some of our online stuff. You can go and get information. So right now, if you have any question, you can email us. You can go to social media, send us a direct message. We're going to answer that to you. But we want to make sure if you call, you can get somebody. We've got somebody there you can answer. You're not on hold for 2-3 hours. But if we have long hold times, we're working on more products that we can call you back. We can work on things. You can pay on the phone. We're going to work on more and more efforts. Again, we have lots of education stuff out there, YouTube videos, different website stuff, social media. We've learned a lot in 6 months. We're going to continue to make those adjustments and add more tools for our customers. But we didn't anticipate the call load that we got, but we've made quick adjustments to add a number of folks to help offset those issues, and that's just what we do. But with any big rollout comes a few challenges, and we've faced those. I do want to touch on this because this has become a hot topic. The scam that's out there, the text messaging scam. I want everybody to know that we do not send these type of texts out to customers. So it's really important to tell your constituents or anybody you see, look for the actual Drive KS or KS Turnpike. Don't make sure they really look at the websites. If they any questions, obviously you can reach out to us. But a number of these things have really odd websites. Obviously, Gmail and different things like that you'd have to understand. But they're getting, and I'll say, if you look at their site that these scammers have done, it looks identical to our website. They're very, very good. But please, we just want to point out, and listen, we have worked really hard with the FBI and the government to get a lot of these taken down. I think maybe 9 different websites now have been taken down. They're going to continue to come up. That's what they do. And we just want to point this out as an emphasis. We're going to continue to push this out to educate the public because we do not send text messages out to tell you to pay us and that you're owe us. We don't do that. But anyway, just wanted to point that out as a point of emphasis. As part of that, information and security of your information as a customer is very important to us. I want to point out as well that we take that very seriously. We don't share or sell any customer information. In fact, if you are a K-tag customer, you have to let us know on your account information who you want to know your information. So Senator Peterson, he has his K-tag. If he doesn't tell us to authorize his wife to work in his account, when she calls in, we're not going to allow her to see that account information. That's how serious we take it. So we make sure we do data encryption. We have 24/7, 365 monitoring efforts. We use a lot of security tools. We understand in today's age, security is very important, and we're protecting that, and we want to make sure our customers, we want them to trust us with their information, and so we've invested a lot, and we'll continue to invest in security for our customers. We get asked a lot about community partnerships, adding interchanges, and we are always willing to talk to communities. If local governments want to talk to us about potential interchanges, and I can give you two recent examples. We do feasibility studies, and we look at cost share opportunities from those feasibility studies. Recently in this location, this area, we've been working with the City of Auburn, City of Topeka. The feasibility study shows us the economic impact and where potential new customers can come from, and so we then can divide that into a potential cost share of how we fund a project. We're definitely willing to do that. One thing we don't do, and I want to make this pretty clear, is, as I mentioned, we don't take any tax dollars. We definitely cannot allow federal dollars on the turnpike. It affects service areas, and the federal government will not allow service areas on the turnpike, and that's a safety issue for fuel, restrooms, and different things for customers. And we don't need those dollars. We operate without that bureaucracy, and we can. We don't need those dollars. But so I know the grants and different things that communities are looking for. So we look for local and state dollars and those opportunities. But we are always available to listen and to do feasibility studies, to look at additional interchanges. I just want to point that out. And we currently are looking at some areas right now with some communities, and we'll continue to do that. And I think with cashless tolling, it becomes an easier way to look at things. We don't have the cost of toll booths and some things. So I know inflation has been a big thing to hit us the last few years, but I think we're going to see some savings. In fact, we don't have to build the plazas that we used to do. Projects, I do want to mention this because we've invested a lot in projects, not just about cashless tolling. We have got a great infrastructure. We're now on phase 3 of a safety assessment. We really dove into our system, looked at safety elements, pavement, curves, friction, water, all these things. In fact, we identified 10 years ago that we had 100 bridges under the 15.9 threshold. We've raised 77 bridges in our long-term needs study. Our long-term needs study is just wrapping up, which is a capital improvement plan. We've done nearly 50 large major projects, spent over $800 million. We did it all through cash. We didn't take any additional debt. We are dedicated to make sure that you and your family, our customers, are safe, as safe as they can be, and we're putting a lot into our projects and a lot into our system. We're actually currently looking at our next 10-year plan and what additional projects we may be looking at, because we want to keep maintaining a system that's at a high quality. Just a quick look here, 2025 projects. We've identified 8 projects that are coming up in this year, including some plaza demos. If you see a few plazas left over, we'll take those down and continue that. We're going to spend about $50 million this year on expected projects on the system. So up and down the turnpike, and you can kind of see from bridges to some demo, different things, some surfaces, pavement. We're always making improvements, and we'll continue that. What's in the future? What's next? We have partnered with KDOT in the US 69 Express Managed Lane Project. That begins in January 2026. KTA's portion of it is simply the tolling piece. The third lane tolling piece, where it's a managed lane, so you decide if you want to get in that lane to go a little faster. We are the tolling experts in the state. KDOT doesn't need to necessarily do that. We will do that for them. We will not make any profit from that. We will simply charge them our cost to process, but we will be a partner in that project, obviously with Overland Park and KDOT. We're really excited about that. It's not, managed lanes is not new to the towing industry, but it'll be new to Kansas. So we will be a part of that, and again, it goes live in January 2026. I don't have any details actually on the construction. That's not our piece. Our piece is the towing piece, which will continue to be installed this year, and we'll be ready to go to roll out information, and a lot of marketing will be pushed out to educate the public here this summer and fall. We're excited to be a part of that. Our cashless tolling technology allows us to be a good partner in this project for KDOT. Just in summary, I always like to, we don't take any tax dollars. I don't need anything from you. I'm just here to give you information. We have the lowest tolls in the country when it comes to our electronic rates. We are fine-tuning our cashless system to make sure it's a good system and we meet our customer needs. I always like to point out that half our traffic comes from out of state, so they're paying for our turnpike, and I think that's a good thing. We are very focused on safety and projects, and we just want to make sure we have a good system. You have a choice, and you're paying a premium for it. I want to give you a really good product for it, and I appreciate your time, and I will stand for questions, Chairman, however you want to do it.
Steve, before we hit questions, would you mind introducing your staff and let us know who we contact when you're not in the building?
Yes, I appreciate that, Chairman. So with me today, in the back there, is our Director of IT, Bruce Meisch. Right in front of him is our in-house legal counsel, Alan Streit, and our Chief Engineer next to him, David Jacobson, and I appreciate them. We also have, anytime you have any concerns, I'll have a number of folks can reach out to you and answer your questions. Thank you, yeah.
Committee questions, Senator Clays.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for coming today. I have to say that cashless tolling has turned me around 180 degrees on turnpikes. I've never been a fan, mainly because, as you mentioned, you have to stop. You're stopping all this traffic. Cars are least efficient when they're accelerating. The amount of the cost of that, is never included in the cost of having a turnpike. But I'm also a huge fan of use fees, which is the other side of that coin, and the fact that people that use something more should pay more for it. So I'm 100% on board now that you have this cashless tolling. I think it's just brilliant. I do have a couple of questions, and I'll ask both of them in the interest of time and efficiency. One is, do you have any plans to add any EV charge stations? I believe you have one, if I recall correctly, but it's out by Lawrence. But as somebody that drives a Tesla, I would sure appreciate some of those. The second, I don't really know much about how turnpikes work, so this may very well be a stupid question, but you mentioned you do add interchanges for folks. Do you ever just build a road? Like if I were to say, oh, I don't know, it would be great if we had a road from Wichita to Hayes. When you look at a map of Kansas, it seems like there's something missing right there. I mean, who is that something you would be an endeavor you would be involved in, or no?
Yeah, so I'll answer that question first. Obviously, statute basically allows us now to partner. We can build a toll road, but it would take 100% to cover that. And now we have statutory flexibility with working with KDOT, so we can use outside dollars. It goes through a process where communities work through, or KDOT makes a request to us, and then we can partner with them, and it goes through our board, our board of directors, and then it goes up to the finance council and governor. So there's a process before a turnpike takes place, but there's now more flexibility than there ever has been. I think that's why US 69 was allowed to happen, because it's not just taking turnpike dollars and the tolls to cover 100% of construction and maintenance, which is very challenging these days. It was allowing the KDOT to use additional dollars from their project to make that cost share work for Overland Park. So kind of a cumbersome process, but it can happen. And I know a number of studies that KDOT has done over the years at different loops around Kansas City, loops around Wichita. There's things that have been studied that just financially have not panned out to make it work. But it's possible to expand for sure. Charging stations. So we've got we have charging stations pretty much at our locations except for Emporia. Particularly for Tesla, we have Lawrence, Topeka, Towanda. Okay, Matfield and Plain are working out. We're working with Tesla, and Tesla has been a great partner, coming right in. We just lease them, give them a spot, and they build the infrastructure, put it in place. It's been a very good for both of EV customers as well as Turnpike.
I did, yes. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate that. Thank you for your presentation, Jay. It's good to see you. Regarding 69 Express, that was permitted by the legislature. We took a vote for express lane tolling, and the first project is the 69 Express project. from what I recall, and it runs from 103rd Street down to 167th Street, if I have that correct.
Is that correct? Okay, yeah.
And you might need to expand that a little bit further south as everything's moving south a little bit later, but that's a discussion for another day. So the part of 69 Express from 135th Street to 167th Street is in the Senate District where I live. And so you have a lot of robust information on the website. It's 69express.ks.gov, I think, for
Yes.
those who want to go check that out. Is there any information you can tell, particularly folks who live in my area and where 69 Express Lane is going to go through, that might not be available on the website, that it's on time? I know it's projected to open and be operational January 2026, but, and the construction pain is difficult, but I think in the end, it'll be a win-win for roadway users.
Yeah, absolutely, I'll do my best. KDOT is managing the construction piece, but I do know it's on time, and there's no delays expected. So it is expected to open in January. Things that may not be on, that still need to happen, that may not be on that website, we're working out some business rules when it comes to how the tolling is going to work with KDOT, finalizing rate structures and different things that are not finalized yet. This is planned to be a congestion pricing, so it could fluctuate during the time. That's not been set yet. That'll be set closer to the time of opening. We'll work with KDOT on that. So we have, our team works with KDOT's team and the consultants weekly on information, trying to get things out. There'll be a big marketing and information blitz that'll come out this summer and fall that are really, and you'll see a lot of KTA folks or K-tag people in the area trying to get K-tags in people's hands so they get the easiest and best rate, and we'll be in tents and different events and things like that. So there's a lot going to happen. I think that the website right now has a lot of really good general information talking about how it's going to work. Some of the details of the finalized details are coming very soon, like I just mentioned. But I think it's right now, be looking for that is the main thing as we continue as a team to work with KDOT to figure out the timing of when we start releasing and getting out.
If I may, just a follow-up question, and thank you for that. So details that folks might want to know, and everyone wants less traffic, right? Less time sitting in traffic, so appreciate the work that's being done on that. How physically will the lanes be divided? Will there be, I think sometimes in other states you see the Jersey barriers, the concrete walls between lanes. And what will we be seeing on the 69 Express? Is it, will it be double yellow lines? And how will KTA track when you're moving in and out of the lane?
Yeah, great question. So this actually will be a double white line, an extra wide line, and these are very, very large lanes. So it's gonna be a 3-lane road. The double white line will divide the towing lane to the other 2 non-toll lanes. There's gantries like you see right now. You see the gantries at our plazas, or not our plazas, but our toll zones right now. You go in there, which have the cameras and readers for K-tag or non-K-tag. And then there'll be a camera between. There's 2 zones, and each zone will have the initial camera and readers, and then there'll be a camera at the middle of the zone. So what this camera in the middle of the zone is looking for, so you go in the zone at the price that it says, and you travel the zone. But let's say you try to skip in the zone after that initial camera, then the cameras in the middle of the zone will hopefully capture that. So going in and out, you're still going to have to pay that toll. So So it's a toll zone, and once you go in that zone, you're expected to pay that price of that time in that zone, and there'll be 3 different locations in the zone to try to capture that. I hope that answers your question.
It does. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator Dietrich.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you so much for being here and for your work in helping us secure some funding and plan for that Auburn exit. That's probably one of the highest priorities of the Shawnee County delegation, and we actually have 3 members of the delegation on this committee now because Senator Schmidt is new to our delegation. So my question for you is, we are, as you know, pursuing some congressional assistance, not through the Department of Transportation because of the restrictions that you mentioned. So I guess my question for you is, have you got any additional information that we might not have? Because we had our delegation meeting in December, early December, and they were still traveling back and forth to DC to speak to the delegation there. Do you have any new information?
Unfortunately, I don't have probably any more information than you have. I know the delegation has met in Washington. I've been talking obviously to Secretary Reed about that as well, and so I don't have any additional information. I think we're trying to work through those logistics if they get funding, which I don't know they've got it officially, so that we get the waiver, so it doesn't affect our federal status on our roadway. Those are the things we're concerned about. But we don't have any additional information except I know they feel confident. They look like they're getting some good feedback. But besides that, I don't have any hard, fast answers for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Committee for the questions? Senator Bowers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hi, Steve. I always enjoy when you come speak to us. I do have a few thoughts. I'm glad you mentioned the fraud text. There for a while over the summer, that was a weekly, several times a week, people would email me or call me about that directly. One older fellow, they had got so far with him, they were asking for his password into his computer. And so I'm glad we took a big, hard look at that. That was really important. And all the different ones that you showed us, I saw at least 3 different ones when constituents would bring me their phone and show me. I say, no, this is no good. So Rachel Bell actually was very helpful on that. I wanted to compliment you on your customer service as well. You're exactly right. They're very friendly. The wait isn't long. They actually give you a number where you're at in the queue, so that's very helpful. And I'm a car dealer with D-tags, so your paper statements that I would receive with the $1.50 fee caught me every time and made me go look to see what D-tag and which company was that car with, and the rental car as well, too. So I've got very familiar with your folks, and they were always very, very nice. And now they have a list of D-tags for each store without buying the K-tag, so we found a workaround. But I haven't mentioned this here, or I haven't heard it mentioned, but how about the folks who aren't paying their bill? Like my $1.50 fee catches my eye every time in a paper statement. How many people are not, and I actually hear this at home, how many people are not paying their toll, if you will?
Yeah, excellent question. So here we are, 6 months.
Thanks, Steve.
And so 70% of our customers have a transponder, so that's very, very good. So we're looking for the 30% that don't, right? And so of the 30% right now after 6 months, we're seeing about 87% of those folks pay. Our goal is to get that over 90. We've not started our collection efforts, though, yet. So once we start our collection efforts, again, I also think some additional tools on our phone lines and different things where you can pay from the phone 24 hours a day, even when our call center is not open. I think we're going to add some additional tools. We hope to get a couple percentage points above that. I think we're always going to have some folks in collection. I think what we've worked out our budget and understand there's going to be some folks. We understand the cost of doing business for safety, convenience, and long-term efficiency was still outweighed the fact that we'll probably have a certain percentage, small percentage, not pay, or we're always trying to chase them. That is the nature of tolling. We still had that even with our open road tolling, and when they would violate, we still had folks that were still chasing down through different avenues. And we're looking at every tool in the toolbox to try to get our money. We don't give up on that. But we also know we're going to have a few folks that don't pay. But right now, we're pleased after 6 months that we've got a good number, but we want to improve on that. But thank you for asking.
Any further questions? And I have a couple, Steve. Our K-tags are still, for the people online, are still no cost to folks?
No cost for K-tag. If you give us a payment option, bank account or a credit card, we will get those out to you at no cost.
When they give you that credit card information, we still do not store that information. We get a token from the bank, so it's even more secure.
Correct. Yeah, we token those things, so our folks keeping those numbers on files. We do not have your credit card, so they're protected.
A lot of people are concerned about that nowadays. I think some people go to bank pass because of that. They don't realize that. Senator Cluse, you don't have to make it quick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you again for the presentation. On the, what's kind of going to be kind of the consequence for collections if people don't pay? Have you thought that through, or any?
We have a number of different options. Obviously, we have the collection, so it puts, we send out to collection agency, and so we work through that. We actually have a civil sue option as well. There's some additional tools in the toolbox we've never used. For Kansans, we have the hold registration hold. We're trying to avoid that. We don't think that's a tool we want to have to use if we don't have to, but it is a tool in the toolbox. We work with our national association at ways that other agencies have tried to found successful ways to collect those dollars and tolls. So we'll continue to look at more things, but at some point you may have to write off some of it. You're just not going to find them. There's possibility of that, but I think what the main thing is if we can find them, we typically have a good shot of getting the money. And so we've got good agreements with state to try to get information, from people, who they are, where they're at, and hopefully we can get a bill to them quickly. And then we'll go through that process and hopefully eventually get the money.
Senator Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Vice Chair's question kind of sparked this question from, as I was thinking about the collection effort, do you have data on how much it costs KTA to pursue collection efforts and how much then comes in the door through how much is collected as a result of those efforts? So is it a 2-to-1 on average? We spend twice as much resources in collecting half of what we've just spent to collect it. So is there a return on investment
Right, yeah,
question
absolutely.
that
So,
KTA looks at?
Yeah, great question, because we don't want to spend a dollar to chase a dime. That's not what we're trying to do. So we look for a threshold and a certain amount. I don't have that in front of me, but we look where you've got a large amount of tolls they've not paid. Then we can work with the collection agency. They take a percentage where they feel like we're going to get a profit back from that. If let's say you're a $5 and you went through Kansas over Christmas and you go $5, and 6 months from now you still haven't paid your $5. I'm not sure. I'm not saying that we wouldn't go to collections or certain, but it may not be profitable for us to go to some tools because of the cost of, time and staff and potential outsourcing to another third party. So we have to weigh those. You're right. We have to weigh those to make sure we're actually using our dollars appropriately. Because again, we don't receive any, tax dollars. We run it like a business. So when it's the right advantageous way to go after them because they owe a large amount and we feel like we can get it, then we'll do that. But if it's not, we'll have to look at other tools to hopefully find a way to get the money somehow. If not, we may have to write it off.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any further questions? One last one from me, Steve. When we transitioned from our toll takers, retirements and the likes, the ones that didn't retire, you offered them positions inside the turnpike?
We did. We had a workforce transition plan where we had additional training, job shadowing, school, additional school work or options to go back to school and get degrees or training. So we offered a large amount of opportunities for them to work with us. Out of the 150 toll collectors that we originally started with when this effort went, we announced it, everybody was offered a job or retirement. And we had 3 that decided not to take the job in the call center or customer service or something else, and they moved on to a different career. But we're very pleased that everybody was offered that opportunity. And so a lot of folks that are in the call center used to be toll collectors. I think that's a really good thing.
Does Federico still our monitoring consultants here? If we had a question we needed to get to you.
Yes, Federico is still, they still help us, and so if you have, they're on site, any of their staff can catch them and get a question to us to answer it, we'll do that. They are our eyes and ears here in the Capitol. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, I think Adam's been been the contact point for a little while. Worked
Yeah.
out pretty good.
Don't hold that against us. Thank you.
I just appreciate you saying Durs Federico, Mr. Chairman. That's the way it should.
Committee, it is my intention to work the land share bill next Tuesday. We'll move on. Once again, the presentation today is not under committee testimony. It went under committee documents. Apologize for that. We tried uploading it 3 times again this morning and it just didn't go to the right link. We've had issues with the website all along, but we're getting it taken care of. No further business to come before us. We are adjourned.